In this video, we're going to take a look and see how to conduct a hypothesis test using a confidence interval. We're going to go ahead and do this with both StatCrunch and the calculator. So the problem comes from homework from section 10.3, it's number 8. So calcium is essential to tree growth because it promotes the formation of wood and maintains cell walls. In 1990, the concentration of calcium in precipitation in a certain area was 0.11 milligrams per liter. A random sample of 10 precipitation dates in 2007 results in the following data table. Complete parts A through C below. So part A, we're going to state the hypothesis for determining if the mean concentration of calcium precipitation has changed since 1990. So what we have is we've got that the mean is equal to 0.11 milligrams per liter, or since it's just changed, the mean is not equal to 0.11. So we're going to construct a 90% confidence interval about the mean, and we're going to do it with both StatCrunch and the calculator. So with StatCrunch, you go ahead and click on the data table, and I've done that. Where is it? Well, I'll click on the data table. We're going to open it in StatCrunch. And what we want to do is, since this is a test about means, we're going to go to Stat, and we're going to do T statistics. And what we have is a single sample, and then an option comes up whether you have data or a summary. Data means you have the actual values, which we do. With summary would mean that you had X bar, the sample mean, and the standard deviation. So we're going to select with data. So our data is what's in the first column. Then we're not going to perform a hypothesis test. We're going to find a confidence interval for this one. The level is 0.90. And then just move this down a little bit. We don't need any other types of graphs. We just need that piece. So hit compute. So the confidence interval, the lower limit, is 0.1059, and that's where this answer came from. And the upper limit is 0.2131. That's where that answer came from. So that's how you run it on StatCrunch. You can also run this on the calculator. The downside is you have to type the data values in. So I've typed the data values in my calculator. So they're right here in the list. So now I'm going to go to Stat, over to Tests. This is a T interval. So keep arrowing down until you find T interval. And then the calculator asks whether you have statistics or data. If you had statistics, if you knew the mean and standard deviation, you could put those in, but we don't, we have data. So then we have to tell the calculator what list our data is in. It's in list 1. Frequency is, we're just counting each once. Confidence level is 90%. Down to calculate. Then we get exactly the same answer. The low interval is 0.1059. The upper bound is 0.2131. So that's how you calculate it. And then now what does that mean? So the sample evidence suggests that calcium concentrations have changed since 1990. So what you do is you take a look at your confidence interval. So based on our sample, we're predicting that the population mean is somewhere between 0.1059 and 0.2131. So you check and see, is your null hypothesis in there? Yes, it is. 0.11 is in between that interval. So that means that since the null hypothesis is contained in the confidence interval, that means that that it hasn't, the calcium concentrations have not changed. It's within the interval. So let's see what's in the multiple choice. So the answer is no. Does the sample evidence suggest calcium concentrations have changed? No, because the confidence interval contains the null hypothesis, which is 0.11.